Hi again, it's me. Right, and welcome to the first in a series of videos on the Daffy Dill railway build. Right, in the last video, a bit long one, a bit too long that one. In the last one I gave you a brief introduction to what my intentions were regarding the what I was going to do with my new little gadget, my 3D printer. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put my other glasses on because I can't see. I can't see you properly. Oh, okay, right, that's it. Now, the Daffy Dill railway is going to be completely, bar a few little bits, built on the 3D printer. It's filament printer, so I've gone for something which is larger than O gauge. In actual fact, I did show you the track last time. It's O gauge track, and that's 3D printed. Right, I downloaded that off the Thingiverse and printed it out just to see, just to set up the machine, which is taking some of my time at the moment. I've got it set up now. Everything's hunky-dory. And I'm trying to get my brain around the CAD program, the slicing program, and the design of the railway. It's not going to be a normal railway. I'm happy to say it's going to be something completely off the wall. I hope you follow along with me. Right, I have since the last video changed my mind regarding the CAD program I'm going to use. I had said that it was going to be Onshape. I lied to you. I thought it was going to be Onshape, but I got to the third video and my brain exploded. So I went for something called Tinkercad, which is a fairly simple, well, it looks simple. It is extremely powerful program, but it doesn't work in the same way as other CAD programs work. Did you ever watch that program, the film, Apollo 13, where they got stuck in a space, and they had to get some more oxygen or something? I can't remember, it was a long time ago since I watched it. Anyway, they wanted to make something that fitted a round doofer and a square whatnot with a thingy in the middle. And they only had a limited amount of shapes and tubes and what have yous to actually accomplish this feat. And back in the control room, they got all these bits together with some sticky tape, and made up this object that allowed them to be able to do what they wanted to do. So it's like a cardboard box, a rubber duck, I don't know, a bit of tube, a toilet plunger, the stuff you'd find on a spaceship. And they stuck it and glued it all together and it worked. So Tinkercad's a bit like that. What it does is it gives you shapes, so it's boxes, triangles, pyramids, let's put it that way. It's all three-dimensional, of course. Balls, truncated things. Anyway, what you do is you actually take these, you shift them onto your building surface, okay? And then you either add to them or you subtract from them and glue them together or unglue them to enable you to be able to accomplish the final product. So I'll give you a clue. This is one which I made. Okay, I'll tell you what it is in a minute. But that is 8 different shapes, elongated, squashed, joined together, and all put together into a form which then goes into your printer to enable you to produce something like that. Okay, so it's a bit of a headache, but it's the way I work. It's how my brain works. More easily doing that than it would on a straight line, three-dimensional CAD program, you know, a normal one. Tinkercad works for me. It's all right. So the first thing I thought I'd do, apart from download the track, was to actually build a carriage, okay? Because it's one of the easiest things to do, I suppose, or a truck or something like that, rather than start with the engine, which is more complicated. Obviously, I have to be able to buy the motor in order to be able to make it work, and all the rest of the stuff. So, just to get my head around what it is I'm doing, I thought I'd make a truck, a carriage in actual fact. And the first thing, obviously, is the chassis to build the base on which to build the truck or carriage on. There are quite a few chassis on YouTube. For O-gauge, whatever. It doesn't matter if it's been built for O-gauge. If you can bring it into your Tinkercad program, you can enlarge or diminish the size of the thing to enable you to scale it to any size you want. But I didn't find one that was interesting enough for me and with a short enough wheelbase to be able to go around all the curves. Anyway, I wanted to do it myself. So I've come up with this design, which is just the basis, obviously, because what I'll be doing is adding to it to make it a little bit more different than your standard chassis. Right, so this, in actual fact, which I showed you earlier, is part of it. Okay, you bring it right up, you can see the thing. It's got rivets on the top, which I put on. It's got to be cleaned up a bit yet. So it's got rivets, it's got the axle boxes on it. And then if I turn it this way, you'll see it's got holes or slots in the back of it. Okay? This is where the axles will go to hold the wheels. That is one of the wheels which I've printed. Now that was somebody's design already, which I made smaller. I then filled in what they had in the middle, which was a square hole for some reason or other, square axles. They worked, didn't they? And a little hub at one end, so I took the hub off on the design program. I then filled in the square hole and made a round hole in the middle, which you can see. A 3mm hole for a 3mm axle, which is that piano wire, 3mm piano wire. And on the end of the 3mm piano wire, we've got some ball bearings, which I bought. Okay, Now these ball bearings are 6mm outside, 3mm hole in the middle, and 2.5mm deep. Yeah, so they're very small, and they will fit. The ball bearings will fit in the slots here. Be able to move up and down to, you know, be able to level the thing, obviously. And they're kept in. I might have to make a little keeper to fit, you know, on the bottom to stop them from dropping out. But they're quite a tight fit in there at the moment, so I might leave them as they are. Okay, so this will be one side of the chassis. I have another side here, okay, and these two will go back to back with a square tray which I made between them, and then we shall fit the wheels and axles obviously underneath. The square tray will allow me to be able to put some weights in it, and then we have the base of the carriage itself, okay, which will be glued onto that, and then I shall build the carriage up from there. Okay, so that's how it's going to work. I've also downloaded and made dimensionally how I want them. The carriage springs, which I got to clean up a bit, and they will fit onto the chassis like that. Well, I shall put them on square, obviously. So it's a bit like a kit, a bit like a a kit, so that it's got individual bits which I print off. So instead of having one solid, difficult to print item, which would take a lot to change, I've built it in, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Built it in bits like a kit, so that if I want to change anything at all or add to for the next carriage, so I don't want them all the same, obviously. They're all going to be different from each other. So we'll change or add to or take off. Sorry, there's a cat climbing up a tree out there. So yeah, it'll enable me to fit things like these springs, what I've made earlier on a different carriage. Okay, so we'll have some springs on it. Doing, 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 doing. That's for carriage number 2. When I find these things, I can import them, as it were, into the Tinkercad and change the dimensions, and I'll print them off. I'm going to print off some boxes as well to put all my crap in, because there's a load of it slowly adding up. Right, why is it called the Daffy Dill Railway? Why? And the station will be probably Daffy Dill Halt, and there'll be another one called Tulipi, I think. Anyway, right, Daffy Dills, like that, is one of the carriage doors which I've made. Okay, and as you can see, it's got a Daffy Dill on it. Anyway, what am I busy doing now? I've got my daughter here at the moment, so I'm busy printing off some rubbish for her and I think the next job will be for me to glue those bits, the carriage bits together, to fit the wheels onto the, because all the wheels printed, onto the axle. I'll cut the axles off, which is not an easy job. My little Dremel thing will probably, hopefully, see off, be able to cut it. Have you ever tried cutting piano wire with a hacksaw? Cut them, you get your teeth left on the hacksaw. Anyway, yeah, so I shall glue those two bits together, fit the wheels with the bearings, and make sure that that works. So one step at a time, one step at a time. I design this stuff. Oh well, I do anyway. I design on the hoof. I don't do a drawing beforehand. It's sort of all up there with all the other rubbish, and sometimes I change my mind. Sometimes I forget, and so I tend to download or draw little bits or think of things, write them down, so that I don't forget them. And then when I come to that bit, you know, I'll think, oh, maybe what I thought might work. Anyway, I think that's about enough for today. I'm going to finish cleaning up a few of these bits and pieces, and I'll see you in part 2 of the video, at which point I may have the chassis built and beginning to look like a bit like a carriage, maybe. Oh! Look what my missus bought me the other day. Some nice paints. Because 9/10 of this railway, 9/10 of the design will be in the colour. So I've got some nice new acrylic paints to colour this thing with, and then it will sort of stand out, because I can only print in grey at the moment. I do have some other colours ordered, but not, you know, not bright colours. I think I chose a white, a black, and some more grey. So grey, bit like beige, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, it's because I'm of a certain age, I think. It enables me to colour it. I shall see you when I see you. Hopefully it won't be too long for the next video, and I hope this video is not too long. And if you've got to the end, and thank you all my subscribers. Thank you for the comments, and I'll see you soon. Look after yourselves. Bye.